All right, hi once again, everyone. It's the Hump Day edition of Weather for Weather Geeks, the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast. There's not much to take a deep dive into over the next couple of days. We're looking at sunny and beautiful weather Thursday and Friday, but I wanted to do a review of what happened today, and we'll talk some about the weekend, which promises to be hot, and a little bit about the longer range as well. First of all, when I recorded this video at 7:17 this evening, the radar had quieted down. We did have a period of active weather from around mid-afternoon through the 6 o'clock hour, and then things quieted down in a hurry. As of 7:18, though, still some nasty storms to our east, including one that's still producing a tornado warning east of I-79 and south of I-80. This is southwest of the Du Bois area. Thankfully not a heavily populated area, but there has been some rotation with a couple of these storms as they've gone through western PA over the last few hours. A little bit closer to home, severe thunderstorm warnings out for the Pittsburgh metro area until 7:30 to 7:45. These storms have had a history of producing a fair amount of hail today. I showed you last night on Weather Geeks that the hail threat was there today, even though it wasn't through the roof or anything. These storms did have the potential of producing some hail, and that has been the case. In addition to the rotation in some parts of western PA, we've had a few storms that have produced some decent hail, and this includes in our television viewing area. I think around Mercer to Grove City, that zone, we've probably had at least dime-size hail that occurred between, say, 6 and 6:45 earlier on this evening. It prompted a severe thunderstorm warning for a time in southeastern Mercer County. We are done with warnings for our TV viewing area. We are not in any watches. There is a severe thunderstorm watch that runs until 11 for a good chunk of western and central PA, and a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for a while longer in much of upstate and western New York as well. Our big story as we go through tonight and especially into tomorrow, it is going to be the dramatic air mass change. Now, at this time of the year, a cold front does not typically have very cold air behind it, but a lot of times cold fronts at this time of the year are air mass changes in terms of the moisture content in the air mass, and this is going to be one of those cases. Tomorrow is still going to be a fairly warm, seasonable day, but the dew points are going to crash tonight. Now, even over the last couple of hours, we've seen the dew points started to lower. I walked outside and moved my car a little while ago, and I noticed the difference. Just over the matter of a few hours, the air started to feel a little bit drier. Notice the difference between Youngstown and Columbus, and then look at the difference between us and, say, Detroit and Chicago. That's the air that's coming our way later on tonight and into tomorrow, and whoosh, there you go. There's the dry air. We could see dew points in the 40s just about all day tomorrow, and that's a real treat when we're in the warm weather season, and it's really a real treat after probably the most humid day of the year so far today. We had dew points in the lower 70s for a time earlier on today, so it's just going to be a stunner of a Thursday. Get outside if you can. If you're stuck inside all day, hopefully you can take advantage of Friday. But yeah, just a perfect June day tomorrow. 79 degrees, low humidity, not a cloud in the sky, and 15 hours and 7 to 8 minutes worth of daylight to enjoy, almost to the longest day of the year coming up in a week as astronomical summer gets underway. Not much to show you on Futurecast the next couple of days. High pressure is going to drift across and give us just sensational weather through the end of the week. You'll be hard-pressed to find a cloud in the sky both tomorrow and Friday. One thing we'll be keeping an eye on as we go into the weekend. I mentioned this a little bit last night. We've got this big ridge that's going to be building across the eastern two-thirds of the country. And sometimes in these situations, you get over top of the ridge or on the northern periphery of the ridge, you get a couple of thunderstorm complexes that form and then kind of cascade down the east side of the ridge. Some of our modeling suggests that we may get grazed by a couple of these complexes, maybe one Saturday, maybe one Sunday. Now, confidence of this is real low, but I can't rule out, some sort of period where we might get a shower and thunderstorms Saturday, maybe even just in the morning, and then we might do it again Sunday morning early in the day before temperatures just blast off during the afternoons over the course of the weekend. So that's something I'll be watching for the weekend forecast. I've got a largely dry forecast right now, but I just don't have any confidence that these ideas are right. I don't want to rule them out, certainly, but the confidence is low enough that it doesn't warrant putting anything in the forecast at this point. So yeah, heat for the weekend. Heat index values on Sunday. These numbers could even be a little bit conservative. I could see where 94 to 97 will be pretty common as far as the heat index on Sunday, and then Monday probably even worse. Wouldn't be surprised if we had some triple digits across the region as far as the heat index goes. So we haven't had heat like this since Memorial Day weekend, and this may even exceed Memorial Day weekend as far as the level of discomfort It'll probably be more humid than it was with that early season heat wave we had back around late May. So it's going to be a stifling Father's Day, but otherwise, a pretty good day for Dad. We're talking about morning temperatures probably in the middle and upper 60s, and then afternoon temperatures making their way well up into the 80s, perhaps even 90 or so. And pardon the pun here. I was curious if anybody would notice that during the 6, and Leslie did in fact see that. Love your son. So yeah, again, mostly dry forecast for Sunday. We'll keep an eye on the possibility of some sort of stray activity, maybe just in the morning on Sunday. Most of the weekend should be fine, other than the heat. And speaking of heat in the 8 to 14 day outlook, a continuation of the warm pattern now. Will it be as warm as it'll be this weekend? Probably not, but it doesn't look like a very cool pattern either. So a lot of warm anomalies here on the map as we go into the 8 to 14 day period. That's it for Weather Geeks tonight. Open up the windows later on tonight as it cools off. I think you'll enjoy some fresh air and just a beautiful day coming up on your Thursday. Everything else you need to know about the weather coming up tonight on 21 News at 11. Hope you'll tune in then, and hope you have a great Wednesday night.